Yo ho everybody and welcome to another edition of Yinzer on Hockey. Before we begin, make sure you go down below, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and click the little bell to make sure you stay up to date on all the off-season happenings. If you're a hockey fan like I am, stay tuned for more content. So today I want to take a look at continuing our series on upcoming free agents and who can possibly cash in on a big deal on the open market. And now we are going to take a look at the available wingers in the upcoming free agent market. Again, these come from the Hockey News article published in May of the top 30 available free agents. A few notable omissions based on my own personal views and who I think has potential to garner more attention in the open market. Number one on my list is James Van Riemsdyk. This talented sniper played his last few seasons with the Toronto Maple Leafs, began his career in Philadelphia. Career stats: 609 games played, 201 goals, 192 assists for a total of 393 points. Again, he has a knack for finding the back of the net. 36 goals this season was a career high for him. But he consistently falls in the 20 to 30 goal range when he's healthy. And that's been partially an issue for him in his career, has been staying healthy. As far as teams with major need for scoring wingers, especially for somebody who's 29 years old, you have to suspect that he's got three or four years of peak level production left in him. And I think a team like Toronto is a guy that definitely, they're a team that definitely needs that punch from the wing, and they've familiarity with James Van Riemsdyk. Obviously, teams like Los Angeles are going to be looking for some punch from the wing because they've gotten no scoring from their forwards over the past few years, especially this postseason. So those are some teams that I could see making a pretty strong pitch to James Van Riemsdyk, as well as the Las Vegas Golden Knights, depending on how their free agent situation shakes out for them. And that brings me to number two on my list, and that is James Neal, 30-year-old winger for the Vegas Golden Knights this year. Last year, had a salary of $5 million, so he could be looking for a raise based on the Evander Kane signing in San Jose. These are guys that can be looking for comparable deals in the $6.5, $7.5 million price range. Van Riemsdyk, coming off of this career year, could be looking for a little bit more. James Neal, you have to suspect that he could be looking at $6 to $6.5 million. This was one of his typical years for him. 25 goals, 19 assists this year, total of 44 points. He is a one-time 40-goal scorer with the Penguins in 2011-2012. He had 40 goals and 41 assists. So career-wise, 703 games, 263 goals, 232 assists, 495 points. So he's a guy that knows how to find the back of the net. He's a guy that brings some leadership. He wore the A in Vegas, so he brings that leadership to a team that really needs that. Is a reunion to Pittsburgh possible? I guess it's a long shot. I don't really see the likelihood of it. Possibly a team like New Jersey could be looking to add some depth on the wings. Philadelphia could look at a guy like James Neal to give them some extra scoring depth behind Claude Giroux. So those are teams that I would look at for a guy like James Neal. Third on my list is David Perron, also 30 years old, garnered $3.75 million last year in salary. He is coming off of a very good year in Vegas, 50 assists, so he's got the ability to move the puck a little bit better than the other forwards above him. 722 games played, 175 goals, 269 assists. So he's a guy that a little bit more of a playmaker from the wing than the other two guys before him. Somebody I could see a team like Toronto or Montreal showing interest in a guy like David Perron, because he's going to bring that immediate veteran impact as well as the ability to both score and make plays from the wing. That's not something that is common amongst all wingers. So that's added value you get with David Perron. And he's a guy that, based off of his production in Vegas this season, could definitely get a lot of attention. I do think that he is the more likely of two of him and James Neal. David Perron is a little bit more likely to stay put in Vegas, depending on the numbers working out. I would see easily $4 to $4.5 million salary for him if he decides to stay. Number 4 on my list, this is a little bit of a different situation. Rick Nash, 34 years old, $7 million salary last year. He can still score with the best of them in the league. He can still put up goals at an unbelievable rate. He's still a 20 to 25 goal scorer on a consistent basis. 1,060 games played, 437 goals, 368 assists, a total of 805 points. And again, this is a guy that you add if your team is built, ready to win right now, and you only lack that extra punch of goal scoring prowess. And I think Rick Nash adds that to a team. If they're ready to win and they need some more goal scoring, Rick Nash is a guy that you look at. And a team that I look at that could really implement a guy like Rick Nash right now and be instantly on the next level of competition is, I think, the Columbus Blue Jackets. I think they're a team that a little bit more scoring up front, and they're going to be a competitive team. Their defense is pretty well built. Goaltending with Bobrovsky is steady. He's going to get you to the playoffs. It's just a matter of what he does when he gets there. But Rick Nash could add that veteran presence to bolster them in the playoffs, as well as that scoring punch that you need in the playoffs. So I like Rick Nash to Columbus. Also, a team like Boston could look to re-sign him if the price is right. This guy is not getting $7 million a year anymore. He is probably looking for a $4.5, $5 million deal. Definitely probably a guy that's on a year-to-year contract basis now. Along with the next guy, who is Thomas Vanek, 34 years old, got a $2 million salary last year, and he will probably be looking in the $2 to $3 million range. Again, he finished the season with Columbus, played with them in the playoffs, and overall still maintains that level of consistent play in the 20 to 25 goal area. So he's a guy you bring in to a ready-built team, ready to win now, adds that scoring punch, adds that veteran leadership, helps you carry that play into the postseason. And he's a guy I would look at, again, Columbus looking to re-sign. They know what they're getting with him. He seemed to enjoy his time in Columbus. But is he a guy that pushes them to the next level? Maybe not as much as a Rick Nash, but still has that same value. Could he go to a team like a Washington or a Pittsburgh at a little bit of a cheaper rate, because those teams are so competitive and you know what you're getting with him? He's probably more suited for a third-line role, whereas, Rick Nash, you're still probably slotting him into a top-6 role. I think Vanek, maybe you can consider him. You add a little bit to your second power play unit. You bring him in to be a third-line winger who can step up and play second-line minutes if you need him to. That's a guy, that you like the versatility of having. And I look for him to only be visiting with competitive teams. I don't think he is going to a rebuild project. not at 34 years old. He is a guy that's looking to win now and look to further cement his legacy, as one of the upper tier players of the generation. Maybe not an elite, but definitely of the very good players of this generation. And that's where I look for him to go, is to a competitive team. So that's a look at the best available wingers in my viewpoint. A few guys I might have glanced over or not really looked at. Somebody like Ilya Kovalchuk I didn't really look at because I don't know what you're getting. I don't know how well his KHL numbers are going to translate to the NHL, so I don't know what his value is and how teams are going to look at him, but he's definitely a guy that's going to garner some attention as well. Let me know in the comments below what you guys think. What teams are going to be in the market for a big-name scoring winger? What players are going to garner the most attention in the winger market? And is there anybody that maybe I left off that you guys think deserve maybe a little bit more attention? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and stay tuned and come back for more hockey content. Thanks for watching. Bye.